Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode entitled Trauma, Soul Healing with MEDYHNE and Janine. Let me start by introducing my co-host for tonight, the beautiful Janine. Of course, you can find her work at Tarot by Janine and also here on Sending Ravens on YouTube. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude. Hi, MEDYHNE.
Hi.
and, and of course, let me introduce tonight our special guest. You can find her at MEDYHNE.com and also here on YouTube at Arise Humanity with MEDYHNE. MEDYHNE, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a great joy and an honor to be here. So thank you.
Well, Janine and I are excited to have you. You were on our show about a month ago already. Man, time flies. Let's start there. There's quite a few people in the chat already saying, oh my God, we're so excited to have MEDYHNE back on the show. Let's tell them how things have changed for you since you were on the last show. Talk about the bookings and where you're at with scheduling all of these beautiful people who are trying to connect with you.
Oh, wow. You know, it's blown me away. So since that happened, I've been booked up till pretty much March. However, I do make room if people have had a session with me so that they have continuity, so that they can have a session not too long after. So I leave space for that too. But yeah, I just had the most beautiful people contacting me and booking in for sessions. And, I really want to thank you both for, providing this platform for my work. And these people are just such beautiful souls. And it's just a joy also to connect with them and to have these wonderful opportunities to work with these lovely people. So it's a real blessing.
Well, it's very cool, and I have to say, just going back to read the comments there, as I was preparing the slide deck for tonight, people really enjoyed that last healing session, and I thought you and I should get back on the screen and do it again. But folks, if you haven't seen this video yet, maybe go back and watch it. So let me bring that slide back down for you guys here. I'll bring the link down in the live chat. So please do go and check out this episode as well. All right. For tonight.
She saw it 5 times. She said at least 5 times because every time she did it, she got something different out of it. So that was really fabulous to hear that feedback.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, we have a lot to dive into tonight, and we have only an hour for the show. Time constraints here. Janine's on the move, and I've got some crazy things happening on my schedule as well. So let's dive right into it. One of the first topics you sent me, MEDYHNE, was about the originals and what's going on down there, the SOS call. So can you lay some groundwork here for the audience, and let's get started.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really in my warrior woman today because, it's just completely unacceptable, really, what's happening in Australia at the moment. They're going down to communities in Northern Territory and they're force, Aboriginal people. And, we're hearing it from a range of different sources. So it definitely is accurate information, and it's completely unacceptable in this day and age that this type of thing is happening. We know that this has happened in the past, when Australia was colonized and so forth, but it is actually reoccurring now. It's basically a CIDE, I can't say the word probably, that's happening with our beautiful original family here in Australia. And it's a huge SOS out to the entire world right now for everyone to stand up and do something about this, because these people have, all humanity has the right to live, being treated with respect. But these people are holding a pure ancestral DNA lineage for the entire planet. It's not just for Australia, it's for the entire planet. And we need to protect these wonderful, amazing beings who hold the song lines and some of the, ancient wisdom that we need on this planet to go forward. And it's just not good enough to be having this happening in Australia. There are so many people contacting me at the moment, really in horror that this is actually happening, and we need to stop it now. And one of my spiritual mastery teachings is to stay centered and neutral and everything, in terms of your spiritual mastery when things are happening around you. But I'm not mastering that today, because I'm just telling everyone out there, please, if there's any sort of international humanitarian sources or people that can intervene, that can do anything, contacting embassies, whatever you can do to contribute to this, because we're all sending out a huge SOS now. And, it's happening today, as it's been happening for the last few days. It's happening today that they're being rounded up and, forced with this, and also put in quarantine apparently as well. And so, whatever we can do to stop this, and it has to stop now, because we can't let it continue.
Let's pull in some cards here. Let's ask Janine. Janine, I know you're using a different deck here tonight, same as on a Monday night show. So maybe it's very appropriate for tonight because, oh, you have a different one too. Okay. We're going to get into the dolphin energy here in a moment. Before I get into that though, I did a show maybe 2 years ago on the fact that there was this desire way back when to remove some root DNA from the planet, and it had something to do with maybe off-world information and connection to the stars. And it appears that history is repeating itself now. They're attacking these originals, maybe perhaps for the same reason, even though the cover story is of course very different in the mainstream media. So what's really going on, and why are these people who are for the most part not even affected by this thing going around the planet, why are they being targeted this way at this time, at this juncture in our timeline here today? I'm curious to know.
Two aces. So your original comment there, how you started that sentence, Jean-Claude, is correct. They are targeting because of their ancient knowledge or connection to something. So they don't want that strength. So there's some kind of strength to their DNA, being original peoples, or somehow the DNA connects, and they don't want that. Like that was what, what we call the dark hats don't want, because we can't say certain words on YouTube. We're going to use words like the dark hats, the deep state, the dark cult. We don't know exactly, but groups connected to people that were basically, as a human race, at war with.
Well, let me just add a little piece there too. Hold on a second here, guys. We do have a little bit of a lag time. We don't mean to speak over each other. So go ahead, Medina, and I'll come back right after you.
Sorry about that. So the connection to Mother Earth is crucial. That they have this incredible connection to Goddess Sky, Mother Earth, that we can all benefit from as a species. And so that's part of it as well, with their connection, their DNA. And the other thing is, I did hear that 27 elders in one community actually exited, within a few days of this happening. So it's quite a dire situation right now.
The other supplemental point I wanted to make was the off-world connection, and Janine and I have been pulling here in the last couple of shows that this, yes, it's very much a spiritual war, but there is an off-world component to it as well. And perhaps those origins of the originals there date to maybe previous to this war that's going on right now. So I think this is also why they're being targeted. And it's very sad to see, especially as we as humanity are on that cusp of maybe rejoining with our galactic cousins. It's very unfortunate here if we're going to be losing maybe that bridge between those two cultures.
Exactly. And that's the exact word, JC, I was going to use. They're a bridge from the old wisdom and knowledge to the new earth that we want to go into. And we don't want to lose that bridge. It's awful to contemplate.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of shivers as we're talking about that. There's a lot of energy in this show. Okay, let's get into the dolphin energy here. You and I were speaking about this through email before the show. We're going to ask Janine to also pull some cards on this, but let me ask you, Medina, how are the dolphins connecting with you now, and what is the overall message here that you're getting from them?
Well, it was really beautiful, actually, because the other day, 2 days ago, I was thinking about how I was going to put the content together for the show, and I was asking for higher inspiration. And I went for a walk with my partner and my puppy, and we were walking along some canals toward my house, and for the first time it's ever happened, 5 dolphins, and they were quite huge, beautiful big dolphins, started swimming alongside me and accompanied me all the way back to round the beach to where my own beach is, where I, rent a house with its own beach. So they came there and they swam there for quite a period of time. And then I went into the water and stood in the water, and I felt like energetically they were downloading information to me about the show and how to put it together. And then what happened was that night I couldn't sleep, and I think I had about 1 hour sleep, and I just put had it all in my mind and put all the show together. And I'm sure that they were inspiring me and guiding me. And when you think about dolphin and whale energies, they're Pleiadian healing energies too. So they're very beautiful. And I also, when I set up space, which I've already set today before coming into the show, I set up a Dolphin Star High Temple Council of the Light, and I work with the dolphin energies anyway whenever I do my sessions. So they know I'm working with them, and I'm sure that they've come to help with this today. So I'd love to ask Janine what your thoughts are on that, and what the cards say.
Exciting.
So, sorry.
Go ahead, Janine. Sorry.
We'll see what the cards want to say, or what's coming through from the dolphins. Is that where we're going with that?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
And Medina, if you can bring your speaker volume down just a tad, not the microphone, but your computer speaker, just a little bit.
Is that better? Yeah.
I think so.
So they're talking about a breakthrough. We're going to a level here. So the world takes you from something you might have been working on lifetimes to get to. So you get to this level, and then you break through to the next level. So both the cards are breakthrough, but the world being the biggest breakthrough card, the Four of Wands is almost like the miniature world card. And the fact that they're both together, so the dolphins are heralding a breakthrough. So they're saying the human race is quantum leaping and breaking through from one level of understanding and sort of what we've been doing and what we've been learning as a human race. We've all discovered it's been really hard learning, even though some of us had no idea that we were an enslaved race, that the money system enslaved us, that all of our bigger structures were infiltrated with dark energy, that were basically being pillaged as humans. We didn't know that, a lot of us just thought this is how the world is, this is how it works. And I think the dolphins know what's coming, and energetically they're heralding the new world that we're creating. Going into
and I think it's interesting that you've always talked about Australia being like a bit of ground zero, so where it sort of emanates from initially, and that they're very much in this region too, obviously the dolphins and the whales. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And dare I ask, what can we do here to save the originals? Or is that not the right question at this time? Are they perhaps playing a role that is hard for us to comprehend? And in a way, if they're exiting right now, actually becoming stronger as we go through this breakthrough period? I'm curious what the cards would say to that.
I think there is a spiritual agreement, because the Two of Cups is an agreement. And then we've got that really spiritual card. So the High Priestess, and we're not privy to it. And maybe some of them aren't, but they agreed before they even came to be in exactly the situation they're in. So like what you said, Jean-Claude, I think there's a soulful agreement that they're going to help bring awareness, because these two cards are in the second line there. So bringing awareness, clarity, and this is like getting the word out. So bringing awareness to like just how bad things are and what our governments are capable of doing and have been doing, in particular to original peoples all over the world all along. How have they treated them all along? So now that everything's in the spotlight and we're really seeing first, a lot of sleeping people might get their first glance at like what it would be like. First contact happened, like this is what they were doing first contact time. Now they're doing it again, and they're not just doing it to the original people. They're taking the rights away from everybody now. So there's no, like, this bunch has no,
It's
like,
funny.
they're overstepping everywhere.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was reminded for the Star Wars fans out there, when Obi-Wan Kenobi dies, it's really what activates Luke Skywalker, right? And Obi-Wan says, "Don't worry, I'm going to be even more powerful after I'm gone here." So I'm curious, maybe what that connection is with the originals, even though it's sad to see them go and see all of that rich heritage go. And perhaps it doesn't all go. Perhaps it's just a part or a segment, as you say. Some of them are on contract to go through this exact period right now. So, anyways, my heart goes out to all of you in Australia. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, we're 15 minutes in. We're doing well, because I think Medina said we could probably finish this healing session in somewhere between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, and maybe have the opportunity to ask or to take questions from the audience as well here. So, okay, let you get started here, Medina, with our healing session. Maybe we could start here with setting up our sacred space. Lead the audience through that, if you will.
Absolutely. So in setting up our sacred temple space, I just call in energies that I resonate with. So for everyone out there, just calling in the energies that resonate with your spirit and are in alignment. I like to call in our highest guides, the angels, our spiritual teachers and masters of love and light, our galactic family of light, and our entire spiritual team. And also, of course, the beautiful dolphin energies, dolphin star, higher temple council of the light, of highest divine truth, wisdom, unconditional love, harmony, balance, clarity, purpose, grace, compassion, abundance, and peace, where only those seeking these qualities may enter, and so it is. So now I'd like to go into the fact that, we are divine co-creators, and our true inheritance is divine co-creators. So the junk DNA that we have is actually all the abilities that we are dormant within us. And so these, as we are able to have them activated, we'll be able to activate our full co-creational abilities. And so, this is the moment now to really practice activating all these skills and abilities that we have within us. And I'd like to start with a higher self activation as well. So just bringing down your higher self and run it round your spine. So visualizing bringing your higher self down through the crown chakra and sort of circulating that energy around your spine, and bringing in your higher self that way. And you can feel it because it's a raising in frequency. It's quite a joyful feeling. So just running the energy around your spine to activate that connection. And also simultaneously working with the solar plexus chakra, the power center, and envisaging a powerful sun like a golden healing ball spinning in the solar plexus as well. This is also the center for us being able to step fully into our empowerment. So when you've activated those two things, I like to connect and activate all the realms. So like to call in all the entire animal kingdom with your beautiful animal medicine cards, Janine. We call in all the bird life, the animals, the insects, everything that comprises the animal kingdom to work with us today. Call in the elemental kingdom. I even noticed so many more people are talking about working with our dragons at the moment. So we call in all the elemental kingdom to work with us as well. Even working with water is really incredibly powerful because we are comprised of, is it 80%, 90% water? And, all the water that's around the planet, when we activate that, it's going to shift everything as well. So you can work with water and have incredible shifts. Calling in Goddess Gaia, Mother Earth, and the entire plant kingdom as well. So, you know, basically all sentient beings, everything has a soul and a sentience, and we call in all that energy to work with us today. The other thing I'd like to point out is that it's really good at the moment when we connect to Mother Earth and Goddess Sky energies to connect to the 5D sort of center of the Earth, the crystalline core in the center of the Earth. It's a 5D core. We don't really want to connect with the 3D anymore. We want to go to the next level. And so that is really by connecting mindfully and consciously with the fifth dimensional aspect of Mother Earth now. So asked to connect to that. And I'd like to call in all the ancestors. So I'd like to summon all our DNA lineage ancestors to support this process today. We call in all our ancestors through all time, space, and dimensions to activate and stand beside us in this important work today. We call upon the ancestors of humanity to greatly empower everything we're doing. And it's a really incredible gift that we are able to give our ancestors by asking for forgiveness on their behalf, because as we ask in the 3D realm, it can be granted in a way that's different. They can't ask for it in the same way in the other realms, you know, when they've crossed over. So every single person, if they can, ask for this forgiveness is incredibly important in terms of the ancestral impact that's going to be created. So I'd like just to, if people want to close their eyes and just feel the energy of this and ask for forgiveness on behalf of our ancestors. I call in all my ancestors. I call in the Lords of Karma. And dear Lords of Karma, in the name of the I Am Presence I Am, I ask for forgiveness and healing on behalf of all my ancestors through both the maternal and the paternal ancestral lines, through all the levels and all the bodies, through all the time, space, and dimensions, and all the lifetimes, including the present lifetime, to heal all the damage from these ancestral lines and bring the healing and complete forgiveness into the present now. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just asking if this has been granted for you, and just energetically you'll receive a yes or no. Often it comes into the third eye. And if you get a no for any reason, just ask for any further insight or information as to why this forgiveness has not been able to be granted. Usually most people will get a yes, but you know, it can be different for different people. Everything's in perfect divine alignment. So that is a really important thing to do while we're incarnated in this lifetime, to ask for forgiveness on behalf of our ancestors. So moving forward, I like to now work with energetically dismantling and neutralizing the effects of this. And especially as everything that, you know, we know that's happening too around the world with people not giving their free will consent. So we ask on behalf of all humanity for the energetic dismantling and neutralizing and reversal of all harmful ingredients and effects on all humanity of this. We do not give our consent or free will permission to the hidden bio weapon, I can say that, and advanced technology of this jab through all time, space, and dimension. We ask for this. The true ingredients and intentions of this have been hidden from humanity and thus violated our free will. So we command a complete disintegration of the impacts of this experimental procedure. And we magnify this command 1,000,000-fold and surround humanity in individual seals of purified divine white light protection at all times. And I want to mention that I have a beautiful soul healing group that runs on Tuesday night in Australia, and we have some incredible participants, and 2 of these have written these little sort of prayers or decrees for this that are really amazing, and some of these people in this group are truly you know, have incredible gifts. So I'd like to share these with you as well. And people out there might choose to write their own as well, their own decrees, their own prayers that they can utilize that are especially, pertinent for their own energy and for what they bring through. So this one is by a beautiful lady called Elke Sizer. Hi, Elke. And she says, this is a decree to deactivate this bioengineered substance of lower vibration and transform it into an energy-engineered substance of fifth-dimensional or higher vibration love and light. I am a sovereign being of love and light. I am the great I am. And I decree for nothing to enter my body that is not for my highest good. Anything that is programmed to change my DNA, I decree on contact with my body, it must be destroyed and returned to source. Anything that is programmed to harm my body, my mind, my soul, I decree on contact with my body must be destroyed and returned to source. Any AI nanotechnologies, I can say that, I decree on contact with my body must be destroyed and returned to where it came from. Any toxins or foreign subjects, I decree on contact with my body must be destroyed and returned to source. So now that all is left is harmless fluid that I now program and bless to become holy and be filled with the golden white light of Christ. I program it to be of the highest vibration of healing and love, and I program it to honor and serve the sovereign being that I am for my highest good and vibrant health. And so it is done. Aho. And there's another wonderful lady who's written this, her own decree for this as well. And she brought this through, I think, in her meditation. And her name's Helen Langford. I visualize waves of light going from bottle to bottle and that they are brilliantly glowing. These waves move across the world, crisscrossing each other as the light pulsates from the bottles and humans alike. I am presence of Archangel Raphael. I am presence of Archangel Thomas. I ask that you support and protect all of humanity who have received this and those contemplating such. Fill them with your light of protection and freedom of choice now, please. I intend that all bottles of this experimental procedure are filled with light now. All constituents of this drug that may harm anyone are now neutralized. Only light will fill each person receiving them. All persons across the world who have received these drugs are now filled with the light and love of the realms of light, neutralizing all injected contaminants. You are healed and you are free. Claim your sovereignty now. Thank you. And so it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd like to make another point that a beautiful Malaysian spiritual master healer said that he channeled that when people say the words, I do not consent, and they look up, the galactic family of light come down and they neutralize the effects because we have not given our free will consent. So that is also something that happens. And he did say that he felt 90% of the originals of where this was happening were saying that, and that it was being neutralized for many of them. So that's wonderful to hear. Wow. Okay. And maybe I could ask Janine now, what do you think that you could maybe do some cards for how that, what we've just done with the neutralizing it, how that has been able to impact before I go to the next section?
Ooh, I love it. Powerful words, moving us out of troubled water. Magician. So as we think, so it becomes. That's a really well aspected magician. So using our magic, in other words, our words. Thoughts and words are what creates our destiny. So in speaking out words, and especially in large groups, speaking the same thing or all agreeing to the same thing out of your own free will, it's really powerful. So yes. As you speak, you create. So I think it's absolutely helping.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's great. And thank you so much to Ronnie. She was asking to put up the PayPal tip jar. She says, thank you. I love you guys. A big thank you guys again for these donations, because these shows and these healing sessions don't happen without you. We all exist because of you here and your supports. Really appreciate that. Okay. Do you want to go to the next segment now, or do you have more questions for Janine Medina? Next session?
I think we're ready to go to the next section, perhaps.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you. So now I'd like to do some cancelling of contracts. And these are extremely powerful as well to do. We often have these contracts unconsciously that we've carried forth from other lifetimes into this lifetime, or even created in this lifetime, perhaps subconsciously or unconsciously. And they can make a big difference unbeknownst to us. So to cancel contracts is going to create huge energetic shifts. And I'd like to first of all call forth the proper spiritual court of equity to hear these decrees of contract removal. So there is such a thing as a spiritual court of equity. And I'd like to call in all contracts relating to our past, present, and future beings, selves, and existences through all time, space, and dimension. And we're going to actually visualize cancelling them. So imagine a big cancel stamp, tearing them up, and you can use Archangel Michael's sword of truth for this if you choose, a beautiful golden sword of truth. You can cut them up with that, or however you choose to tear them up, and we'll burn them in a rainbow flame. And you can also ask to do this on behalf of humanity or the collective if you choose to as well as your individual self. So I'm going to go through these contracts now, and we'll start. I hereby demand that all forms of contracts relating to the groups that I'm going to read in a minute are able to be revoked, and that all incorrect energy or anything that is not based on the highest good of all concerned is able to be transmuted. We are only choosing to embody truth and integrity going forward, and we'd like to start by revoking all contracts relating to all earth-based media systems, advertising agencies, corporations, and affiliations that do not support the truth and the light and the highest good of humanity. We hereby demand the instant cessation and removal of all false information from all media. We hereby demand the revocation of all earth-based social media systems, websites, search engines that do not support the highest good of humanity. And we ask for them only to be supported that embody truth and integrity. We hereby revoke all spiritual contracts relating to all earth-based forms of mass propaganda that do not support the highest good and the truth. We do also revoke all spiritual contracts relating to our connection to sacred geometry that does not support the highest good, all forms of control that are utilized through sacred geometry that we're often not even aware of. We ask for all spiritual contracts and all earth-based contracts relating to artificial intelligence that we have not given consent to and that do not support the highest good to be revoked. Any means that strive to hijack our free will, energy, and permission through artificial intelligence. We revoke all spiritual contracts relating to all earth-based and beyond surveillance systems that impinge on our free will and are unknowingly affecting our energies. And a bird just went past. I don't know if you heard it. It was very loud. I agreed with that as well. All earth-based systems, we revoke now all spiritual contracts relating to that are intended for domination and control over humanity and all sentient life forms. We revoke all spiritual contracts where our energy is harvested in any way or denied the fullest expression of male and female harmonious relationships. Anything that does not support the fullest expression of divine feminine. For example, the whole 3-letter agency thing that created the feminist movement to foster a hatred for men and create division in the soul family unit. All those, we revoke all contracts to all those that we often were duped by, that presented in different forms that we weren't even aware of. We revoke all spiritual contracts relating to any inequality of humankind in any way, where anyone is considered less than anyone else. We hereby revoke all spiritual contracts relating to all earth-based governmental systems that do not support the highest good, any that are based on self-serving purposes. And similarly, all earth-based political systems we revoke all spiritual contracts with that do not support the highest collective good for humanity. We revoke all spiritual earth-based contracts relating to banking systems, financial systems that do not support the highest good of all concerned, of all humanity. And we also revoke the spiritual contracts relating to all earth-based educational systems that keep us in control structures and that take away our gifts and our uniqueness and our ability to express ourselves from our highest potential. We revoke all spiritual contracts relating to big pharma and corporate medical systems that do not serve our highest good and that do not support health in truth. We revoke all spiritual contracts relating to judicial and court systems that are based on hidden agendas and self-serving practices and corrupt systems. We only ask that we are able to be supported with systems that support equality and fairness and justice for all. We revoke all spiritual contracts with war-based or nefarious military or systems to dominate and control or take away our freedoms. We revoke all spiritual contracts relating to cultural systems that do not serve the highest good of all concerned, or religious systems that do not serve the highest good of all concerned and are based on hidden agendas. I do not consent to my life force existence or astral body or dream state to be used for anything other than my free will consent and truth-based and informed choices. So that's when we're asleep and we don't know what's happening and our energy is being utilized in ways that we don't know about, that have not been given our consent for. On earth, we command that all children be protected and supported to flourish to their highest potential from this moment onward. And we command that all Indigenous or Original peoples throughout the world be protected and supported to flourish to their highest soul potential from this moment onward. We command that anything that is not of the highest good of Mother Earth and Goddess Gaia be revoked through the free will permission template of humanity and through the free will template of the collective. We demand the immediate return of all earth-based systems that are based purely on the highest good of all concerned. So that's all the amazing technology that's been hidden from us that can help us really progress as a species. We call in all our soul family to reconnect from this moment forward, because so we have been divided and separated so that we can't unite and work together to really create the amazing shifts that we all want to see. We revoke all spiritual contracts which lessen our divine potential and glory in any way, and we emblazon these commands to be placed on our Akashic records for all time and to be in accordance only with our free will consent. We hereby declare the divine unlimited God Goddess self to be expressed now in its entirety through all time, space and dimensions from this moment onward, and all healing to be brought into the present now. And regarding everything that we've done today, I'd like to ask us all to say these words. I now clear and raise all incorrect energy, and I ask that all incorrect energy be bound to the light and transposed into positive energy. I enclose all mentioned above in individual seals of white light. I thank guidance and source that this be done. In the name of the I am presence I am, it is done, and so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just a few more things to go before we finish. For Australia and New Zealand, we call in the highest levels of protection and support and divine blessing from the divine Archangel Michael and his legions. And from our galactic family, we call them all in to help us at this time. We put a SOS out internationally to the world for anyone that can stand up and support this protection of our beautiful Indigenous families. We surround Australia and in New Zealand now until it is set free in the light, and ask that everyone please hold Archangel Michael's golden sword of truth in their hands now and cut away as I say these words. So just envisage holding this beautiful high vibrational tool that you can only hold if you have a certain level of integrity in your energy field. I cut away anything that is less than or other than in God's divinely aligned plan for the highest good of Australia and New Zealand. I command that all incorrect energy be cut away now. In the name of the I am presence, it is done, and so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dear divine and higher beings of love and light who've worked with us today, we are deeply grateful. Thank you. And I'd like to encourage people to share this today. So the more people that do this, the better. You know, it's going to create a big shift, the more people that do this work. And the moment is now. It's such an important moment now to be able to impact the world in this way. And finally, I'd like to say that it is really important to turn our attention from the dark ones and their agendas to focusing on birthing the new earth. We don't want to focus all our attention on that old energy, and we want to let the old world meet its fate as we hearken in a new free earth where our infinite potential is realized. Love, peace, and joy can emerge as the new template for all humanity. And in that vein, I'd like to say this beautiful, great invocation. It's pretty short, but it's incredibly auspicious. And it goes like this, the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of the Creator, let light stream forth into the minds of all living beings. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within, the heart of the Creator, let love stream forth into the hearts of all living beings. Let love descend on earth. From the center where the will of the Creator is known, let purpose guide the will of humanity, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power restore the plan on earth. And so it is done. It is done. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Really appreciate you all. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Medina. There's a few people in the chat that said you said a part a little bit too fast. Maybe I think when you were doing the sword cutting here with Archangel Michael, could you perhaps just repeat that last segment for the audience?
Absolutely. Sorry about that. Okay, so I said
it could be that you were breaking up too. We had a little bit of an issue with your connection during, but most of it came through.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So I might just shut the window because there's a loud noise. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Wouldn't you know it? just when I'm doing this. Okay. So we call in for the highest levels of protection and support and divine blessing from the divine Archangel Michael and the legions of his legions and our galactic family to surround Australia and New Zealand until it is set free in the light. So having them, you know, standing on guard continually until we are able to be liberated fully. I ask that everyone please hold Archangel Michael's golden sword of truth in their hands now. And you can cut away physically as I say these words as well. So imagine holding this tool and cutting away at the same time. I cut away anything that is less than or other than in God's divinely aligned plan for the highest good of Australia and New Zealand. I command that all incorrect energy be cut away now. In the name of the I am presence I am, it is done, and so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, you hit the nail on the mark with that one. Very good. Okay, Janine, do you want to perhaps pull some cards here and see what universe has to tell us about this healing meditation for tonight?
Yeah, but there was one thing I kept wanting to say right after all this sort of segments of what MEDYHNE was saying. I wanted to say Hawa, all my relations, which is what my medicine man taught us to say in ritual. And when you're making these incredible sort of, especially with a big group like we have tonight, these you're pronouncing and or taking back our power with those words, or at least that's my interpretation of what's being done here. And we're assuming the position that we're in charge of our destiny. And it just feels fitting to say Hawa, which is a Haida word. It's bigger than a thank you. It's bigger than a hello. It's bigger than a goodbye. It's all of those things combined. It's like a spiritual recognition for everybody present. So Hawa, and then all my relations, which is like just going back generations. We have to fix what's been done to the human race here, and we're going to change it, not just with ourselves, but all our relations. As MEDYHNE was saying earlier on, we're asking forgiveness for what's been done in the past, even in the name of our relations.
Is that similar to aho? When you say aho, is that a bit similar, Janine?
I don't know. Maybe it's similar to that Hawaiian word. Mahala, maybe? No.
Yeah.
Mahalo.
Say it again.
Mahalo.
Yeah, that's it. It's similar to that, maybe okay. More along the lines. But a Haida person could explain it, like their original peoples, a Canadian group of original peoples from the Haida Gwaii. They could explain it better than I could. But I was always told it was a bigger than, it's more of a spiritual greeting, and a sort of, when you end a spiritual sort of, you're pronouncing how you want something to be. Okay, so then it seals it, sort of. That's how I feel about it anyway. But if there's any Haida people watching, or some people that know what the Haidas meant by that, please put it in the comments. But that's what I was led to understand by my Haida medicine man. But while you were talking, MEDYHNE, I got a big ace. So everything you were saying just really resonates with what we're all wanting to do and how we want to shift the world to be a more integral, sovereign place for us all to coexist in.
Thank you. Wow. I think I have a spiritual guide who is an Inuit, so from your area. So that's interesting. The connection there, talking about your culture and everything.
Yeah, Haidas aren't my culture, actually, but I lived among them, and I was told I was a past life Haida.
Yes.
When I came back on the island, it was like the medicine man found me, and he said, "We've been waiting for you. We heard you were coming." And he scooped me up and started training me up. So I was very honored.
That's interesting. I have a few psychics who told me that I was connected to the Odawa tribe, and I had this relationship with Manitoulin Island here in Northern Ontario, and Manitou is the word for the Great Spirit. So Manitoulin Island is the island of the Great Spirit, and there is a magical waterfall there. Sarah and I visited a couple years back, and I could do a whole show on how crazy that whole episode was. But yeah,
a beautiful animal called the manatee. You know the manatee? It's like a walrus, but it's sort of a very similar word to the word that you just used.
Manitou, yeah. In French, we say grand Manitou would mean great spirit or great boss, or yeah. So, anyways, that's fascinating. Okay, we're doing well for time. We still have about maybe 10 minutes here before Janine has to go. Do you guys feel like taking questions from the audience? Does that make sense at this point? Or is there anything else, MEDYHNE, you wanted to share before we go today?
Well, not really. I just any questions I'm happy to answer. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, folks, if you're listening now and you want to ask Medina or Janine some questions here, please put them in high caps here in the live stream of YouTube. And while I wait for those to populate, again, put them in high caps. It's going to be easier for me to pick out. There's quite a few of you in the live chat right now for me to bring up on the screen. In the meantime, I wanted to point your attention also to Medina's YouTube channel, and you can find that here at Arise Humanity with Medina. Now, Medina, what's coming up here? I see you did this amazing interview here with Catherine and Bryce from Esoteric Atlanta. What's next on your radar here that people can look forward to on your YouTube channel?
Wow. Funny you mentioned that, actually, because I've got a lovely chat coming up with you and Catherine and Bryce. That'll be next week. We'll be doing that. So that'll be lovely. And we'll get to see more of a personal side of you, JC.
Okay. Uh-oh. You guys are going to be ganging up on me. Okay. Yes, I know. I think this is Monday, 4 p.m., I think, Eastern my time.
Yes. Okay. And I've also got a wonderful interview coming up with Amanda, who does the incredible work with the grids.
Indigo Angel from our show.
Angel.
Oh, good. Oh,
and,
yes. She's amazing.
Because she's putting a lot of emphasis on Australia, you know, people really want her information on what she's discovering. You know, it's really helpful for Australian people to have that knowledge and that background, so that we can try to shift the current trajectory of, you know, what's going on. I think the information is really important to have, and so that'll be wonderful as well.
Right. And if you guys aren't familiar yet with Indigo Angel, you can find her here at Indigo Angel on YouTube, and her website is indigoangel222.com. And yes, she has quite a few of her latest decodes on Australia. Really, really interesting person for sure. You guys don't want to miss that. Okay.
Another thing, JC?
Go ahead.
Soul healing group that I run on the Tuesday nights. It's free, and we do all this sort of energetic work for Australia and New Zealand. And you know, when we focus on Australia and New Zealand, it's not just because we want to shift what's happening here, but I really believe that what's happening here is integral to impacting the rest of the world. So it's like you've both talked about so many times. So it happens here first initially, and then it spreads to the rest of the world. So when we can sort of you know, do things to impact the trajectory from this moment, then it does all the negativity and the things that could unfold to the rest of the world, we can cut them off before that happens. So I just feel that the work that we do here is actually global. It's for all people that want to join and help. It's not just Australian, New Zealand people, and this will very much impact all humanity.
Very good. I completely agree. Lakeside Laura is asking you, what would be a good prayer / meditation of protection for everyone?
Oh, I have a beautiful one here. That's a great question. May I answer that, Janine? Is that all right?
Okay. That was for you.
Thank you. This one is called the Armor of God. It's very powerful. And it goes like this. May the divine loving presence of God please be above and all around us. May Mother Mary, the Lady of the Light, please hold us. May Mother Earth, dear Gaia, please hold us. May the 7 swords of virtue please light our way. May St. Michael please stand by our right hand. Archangel Gabriel by our left hand. Archangels Stelorio and Uriel to stand before us. Archangels Raphael, please stand behind us. Archangels Camille, Raphael, and Barakiel, please join us also. Please hold us and shield and protect us, and my guardian angels and guides of the light of mine, from all that is not of God's pure love and light, as I take my sacred steps into my own sacred heart, in God's holy name. Amen.
Very good. Okay. Along those lines, I'll have a second question for you, and then a next question after that for Janine, and I think we'll close on that. We'll be right good on timing. Okay. What do you recommend to higher our vibration after being around people who are of lower vibration?
Okay, so transmuting energy that you've collected is something that you can do with the ultraviolet purple flame. It transmutes energy very quickly and easily, and really, really shifts your energy. You can also do things like you can cut cords or attachments. You can visualize holding, for example, Archangel Michael's golden sword of truth, and just cut away from your body or in a hologram anything that you've collected. You can visualize handing up to the divine anything that you've collected that is not of your energy. So that these are all great techniques. You know, doing a meditation, going into your heart center, because when you're in that heart-based center, you can transmute energies as well. So just a few ideas off the top of my head.
Okay.
Janine, what are your thoughts?
I'll ask a question for Janine. I'll ask her this one. Where are we collectively in our ascension process, Janine? Let's ask the cards.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what Medina was asking, I would smudge sage and or have a salt bath or scrub with a salt scrub. If I've been around negative or lower vibration energy, I just scrub it off and come back to my source again.
And a Merkaba is handy as well. I've got one on that I wear a lot, a rose quartz or a quartz Merkaba, because that blinds the dark. I can't see you. Perfect. That's a big one.
How did you put that?
The question from the questioner: where are we collectively in our ascension?
Okay, so we're feeling disappointed, lamenting and looking backwards at where we've been, and discovering that where we've been wasn't what we thought it was. And most of it is based in lies and programming. Okay, so we're trying to find a balance between what we know now and what we thought we knew back then. So we're probably cutting away a lot of things, right? But this was the past. So the good news is, you know, we have the intention, or at least people watching shows like this, and actually quite a large part of the population is shifting over to wanting to know. So our light went on, and we decided to face what wasn't and what were lies, instead of bury our head for one more second. Okay. And here that, so this is like, talk about Archangel Sword of Truth. This card would sort of align with that, right? So we're actually cutting away what we don't need and bringing in and allowing and listening to what is true now, which hasn't been the case up until the last couple of years. I know there's some people out there, though, that have been on this path for years, but a lot of us just woke up a couple of years ago, right? So I'm not speaking, you know, for those that woke up, you know, from the minute they were born or 25 years ago or something, right? So we're really close to, like, that dolphin message that we're breaking through. We're really close to getting the world in a place we really want. Even a year from now, we're going to see a better world. I believe it. So if you're wondering about ascension into sort of the next phase of humanity, I'm assuming that's kind of what was meant there. I think we're within, it's within our sights, and we're really, really close to manifesting it. That's huge when you think about it. That's a quantum leap we're taking.
I feel that too.
What an exciting time to be alive. Go ahead, Medina.
It feels like on a precipice. We're just about to jump off. We're that close, and you can feel the energy. It's like a building up of energy, and it's just like holding your breath, waiting for that minute where it just all shifts. And the more that we envisage that shift happening, the quicker it'll happen as well. You can envisage it and then ask it to come down through your timeline, closer down your timeline into the now moment. So you can actually draw it down through the timeline as well.
Very good. Hey, a big thank you to those in the PayPal tip jar donation for tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. Let me try to name a few. Lisa Garrett, thank you so much. Bonnie Bean, thank you. Kurt, thank you so much. Faye, thank you. Larue, merci beaucoup. Patty DeVici, thank you so much. And I think Ronnie, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. Hey, before we go, also, Medina, you've set up now a new contact page on your website so people can book directly going through your website. So let me bring that up on the screen here and explain to the audience what your booking schedule looks like right now, seeing as you had quite a few bookings here on the last show and you're already booked up until March. Let them know what to expect here.
Well, if people do need a session more urgently, I can find time to make sure that you have a more sooner, appointment. So I take into account, what people are wanting and, when they need that appointment as well.
Okay.
I do have bookings up to March, that's true. But I always want to make time if people, require one sooner. So depending on each case, and, I love to, continue working with people. So if I resonate with you, please contact me. I love to work with you. And
Awesome.
yeah, I just think that the passion that people have at the moment, the dedication people have to work on themselves is really admirable. I'm seeing that out there very much, and it's very heartening, that people have that at the moment. So it's great to see.
Yeah, well, thank you for your work and thank you for your time, Medina. And folks, if you want to contact her, that's medina.com/contact. And Medina, do you still have a coupon code there for the Beyond Mystic audience as well?
Absolutely. Yep. It's a 10% coupon code, if I can say it. And it's BeyondMystic. So, yeah. And I'd like to thank you both so much again for having me. I deeply appreciate the opportunity to have this platform to be able to shift the paradigm and with this work. And, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being on. Janine, last words of wisdom before we go?
No last words of wisdom, but I wanted to say a special happy birthday to a very special nephew of mine. I'm actually a great auntie to this little fella, and he's having a birthday party. And I've been hanging out all day with him and people that love him. And so, Rumi, happy birthday, you little sweetie. He's like an absolute magical being. And
what's his name? What's his name?
Rumi.
Rumi. Okay, so there's 2,300 people in the chat. Let's all give a big happy birthday to Rumi. I want to see you guys type it in here in the live stream and also in the comments below. Let's send him a big love bomb. All right.
Yeah, and he's
wow. That's a magical number. And did you see Janine last night? Our show ended up on 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Yes,
it ends to 5. Wow, that was absolutely amazing.
There were
all
5
right.
dolphins too that I saw. That number keeps coming up.
Right. All right, folks, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing healing session. You can find Janine here at Sending Ravens on YouTube and also Tarot by Janine. And you can also find Arise Humanity here with Medina. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe here on our third backup channel. And do join us Thursday evening for a repeat show here with Ashley for Galactic Tarot. I'm excited to have Ashley, our girl, back on the stage here on I guess this is the American Thanksgiving, but for Canada, it's just a normal Thursday night. So we'll see you guys again on Thursday. I love you guys. This was Trauma Soul Healing with Medina and Janine. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.